All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the SCReddit Open number 10, and this is game 3 of the third place match between Cheticus, who's in the upper right-hand side, and Wes, who is the Protoss in the 6 o'clock position. And I am Harlequin today here casting with FearGorm. We are both from Reddit, and we are both rocking out, waiting to see who's going to win. Cheticus has been the standard Zerg player who's just been rocking throughout this tournament, whereas Wes has been the unpredictable random player. He happens to have rolled Protoss this time, but it seems like we've seen a lot of Protoss and Zerg today, so I don't know. FearGorm, how are you doing? What are you thinking about this match?
I am doing well and even better since I'm watching this. And it's curious, Wes, we haven't actually seen his Zerg play, so I'm still wondering what his strongest race is. It seems to be turned so far. But I'm thinking Wes is going to do some sort of all-in. I think as a random player with this kind of experience and his kind of micro, he can make a really, really effective all-in, especially at these positions. And as soon as he sees that, I think we're going to see some sort of 4-gate. I don't think it's going to be proxy or anything, just because of the nature of the map. Cheticus, I think, is... I don't really see Cheticus one base too often. He's a very macro-oriented, expanded player. He knows when to attack, but I haven't actually seen him hold off a 4-gate or something like that in a long time. And yeah, there we go. Really smart move, making sure that he doesn't get pylon walled in or anything. I don't know if... I guess he really wants to expand right now because he's focusing on killing off that probe. But
yeah, so far
yeah, we see that
Zerg
Wes
players
is
have been aggressive about just guarding their front. That seems to be the new trend to guard against wall-offs, is just constantly patrol back there.
And we see a nerfed 2-gate going down with some saved chrono boost. I was actually going to say I expect a 4-gate because I thought he was saving his chrono boost for the warp gate research, but instead of going for this, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think this is the greatest move. I mean, we see that the pool is halfway done. It'll be out in time before they'll sort of reach critical mass, I think. And there's not a fast expansion going down either. So with the Zealot nerf and timing, like it's quite significant. And, oh, he is expanding here. I still think he'll have enough lings out in time, though, even with the chrono boost. And I think Cheticus is confident enough that he'll know how to handle this. So basically, if this fails, it's done. There's no way Wes is going to be able to come back from it.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. You know, I trust that Cheticus can defeat this. He did get the pool early. I always question that he doesn't get the early gas, but it was because he was actually saving up to get that fast expo. So he's just going to have to defend for a little while here. He already sees the Zealot coming, and pull up the production tab. You can see he's got 4 Zerglings on the field and 4 more coming. It's tough to fight off Zealots with only unupgraded Zerglings, but not impossible, and I think he's going to be able to deal with this okay. We'll have to see how quickly Wes can ramp it up, but also, like you said, I want to see what Wes change up. I want to see how he transitions this, because he so far doesn't seem to be a very big fan of the all-in strats. He seems to give up on one thing and just move to the next. Already we can see he's getting gas and has probably getting ready.
The thing here is that I don't think he really has the luxury of just picking a strat. I mean, that 2-gate is just such an all-in strategy that as soon as the roaches come out, you might as well GG, because you're not going to have the tech in time to deal with it. And we saw him actually miss a production cycle there on his Zealots and not use his chrono boost. So he can't. I don't think he can half-ass it. He sort of needs to make a decision on whether or not he wants to commit and put on some really early pressure and at least stop the Zerg from over-droning, even if he can't kill him outright. And he's made 3 Zealots already, so he needs to do something with them. And he's not really under any pressure of an immediate counterattack because he did fully wall off.
Yep, and he did go ahead and get that cybernetics core up, but so far he's just forcing Cheticus not to macro. He's forcing him to make all these lings. I think Cheticus has all the lings he needs, but hopefully what Wes's game plan is going to be is that he will instead swap over to a more normal build like a 4-gate and just hope that he's thrown off Cheticus's early game by forcing him to make lings with all that larva instead of making lots of drones. You can already see his natural hasn't been saturated at all. He's finally got one probe up onto it, one drone.
Yeah, and does have quite a few Zealots out, and actually throwing down a Robo right now, so this is interesting to say the least. I don't know. Wes is an interesting guy, but it's going to be interesting to see what he tries to do with it. I mean, Observer's not going to benefit him all that much, so I'm supposing maybe he's going for some Zealot, Sentry, Immortal mix, but I think the timing on it will be so awkward and so bizarre because he won't have any way to get an Immortal out of the base. that it's not going to be all that effective unless he's going for some one-base Colossus play, which could be, I think, a lot more reasonable.
Yeah, I'm kind of my intuition would be that he was expecting roaches early on, and so he just made sure he had it. I love the queen micro by Cheticus. He was really aggressive about running his queens down. They can kind of outrun the zealots on the creep, and he's just keeping them alive long enough to get annoying. So many zealots there.
Yeah, and now this 2-gate is really starting to pay for himself. If he loses 2 of his queens, that's all his production capacity pretty much gone. He's going to have a lot of trouble holding this off. And ooh, all those clutch wings and pulling off all those really low health zealots. So, wow.
You know, yeah, I got to say, already he's kind of justified this strat. You can see he's moved into 3-gate robo now is where he's at. And Chet really doesn't have the econ to justify his fast expansion. So I think he's, you know, he didn't win the game with it, but he definitely negated the fact that he fast expanded. But so many lings still, my God. Wes has got to be caught.
And he might even... Oh, okay.
I think he could...
Yeah, he might even be able to just brute force his way through. I'm not sure if once he's done, he'll have enough units to do significant damage. Once these 2 extra zealots come out, we'll see with the timing, though. It's going to be very, very tight. That one zealot being such a hero with 7 kills, the Mentor goes down, all the probe parts come off the line, 2 more zealots come out. I think they're going to clean it up, but he's going to have to corner those lings and kill them off too. And now it's more of an annoyance than anything, but Cheticus now sees everything on this base, and he knows that a Robo Bay is up. He knows that it's one-base Colossus time.
Yeah, you rarely get to see a zealot actually fight single-file lings, you know, and I'm still amazed at how many lings he can take down just by standing there. But so it looks like he's good. As you pointed out, he's got the single base Colossus coming. That's going to be really tough for Cheticus. But you know, he just doesn't have the econ for this at the moment. He needs to start spending. He doesn't have the gas. He spent a lot of money on those early zealots and doesn't have a lot to show for it. So he's kind of giving Cheticus the room to breathe now. And Chet, being the macro-oriented player, I think is just going to go into drone production mode and just grab onto the map while he can and just take advantage of his macro and get himself back in line.
Yeah, meanwhile, Wes does have a random probe out here, and he has a lot of minerals. He has 600 minerals, so he could actually decide to throw down a hidden expo right here and sort of pull it like a double switch, but I think it'll be better for him to just commit to this Colossus play. And I don't know why he hasn't gotten extended thermal lance, because he has more than enough money, far more than enough money to do it. I think that would be... Actually, no, there's no Hydras out, so with some good control, it's not really going to matter all that much, so... I actually sort of like this play.
Yeah,
I think he should move his zealots back a little bit more. Nice force field. Gonna get the zealots in a position.
Got to move that Colossus down too. Surprise Colossus. That'll help out. There we go.
There we go. And yeah, I mean, he might as well expose the Colossus. Oh god. Yeah, okay, there we go. He might as well expose the Colossus now because he knows that his opponent sees it. And there's not too much these lings are going to be able to do. That Colossus is just going to roast them. Look how low health they are. And right now, what's his response? I mean, he's throwing down an infestation today. So what do you think of this play, Harlequin?
You know, I mean, almost nobody uses infestors for anything other than infesting. I mean, sorry, for fungal growth. Almost nobody takes mind control of units anymore just because it's kind of not really worth the investment. But it looks like he is actually picking up Neural Parasite, which is why I was wondering why he was getting it. That's probably what he's thinking. He's thinking, okay, you have so few units, I'll just take control of the Colossus.
Oh, that is... I'm sorry, I was just captivated by that zealot that was right under the Colossus.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah, so
yeah, oh god, and this is, oh boy. Oh, almost losing that that unit. And I think this is actually a scenario where fungal growth would be a little bit better because neuroparasite, it's okay. I mean, 12 seconds isn't amazing, but when you're talking about neuroparasiting potentially 1, maybe 2 colossi, that can be absolutely huge because he doesn't have stalkers to easily kill off those neuroparasiting.
And he canceled the neuroparasite, by the way. He's abandoned that plan. Looks like he's just going for roaches.
Yeah, this is a scary moment, but he does have enough roaches, I think, to hold it off with some good control of micro. He needs to get around to the Colossus before they start really stacking on the damage to those roaches.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's at critical mass here. He can take care of the stalkers, and the roaches can tank Colossus for a little while. Nobody likes fighting a Colossus, but a roach is your best bet if you're going to do it. Well, I suppose an Ultralisk is if you can afford it.
Yeah, and I'm actually wondering right now if Infestor would have been a good play. Oh, wow. Killing a lot of roaches.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that. I think the only problem was that he needed money now, and he wasn't going to be able to afford an actual Infestor anytime soon. But I was looking forward to that because there were so few units on the field. If you take control of one Colossus and turn it on the Zealots, it would really change the course of battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I think Wes is in a really tough position. He cannot lose to the Colossus. Oh, boy. And this other Colossus is not going to be fast enough to outrun the Lings. Those Lings might take it out. Ooh, gets up onto the high ground really quickly. Oh, wow. Clutch move to the high ground, but he just doesn't have enough to hold this off, and I think it's going to be GG. Yeah, and finally, of course, the thermal lance finishes just to see the Colossi die.
Super aggressive by Cheticus. That is a hard way to play Zerg. Most people don't like playing attrition-style battles where you win because you constantly lost units, but you just barely eked out. You know, it's a very frustrating way to play because you have to lose so many units to get anything done. But he did. He just lost dozens and dozens of roaches and lings, and was able to drive it home. And look at that one little caught in the corner there. Caught alone with a ling. The ling is like, "You're trapped in here with me."
And as he eats the sentry, it probably doesn't taste very good. But yeah, that one Zealot's gonna have to go into a hero health mode. Okay, he has to go for hero health mode with him. But I think I should stop calling GG so early because it's not GG. But Wes is in dire straits. I mean, he invested a lot into that push and into getting that Nexus up, so he's definitely way ahead.
I know what you mean, which is that it's GG in like the mid to long game sense. Like this, like that was the deciding moment of the game. Provided that Wes doesn't do any miraculous recoveries, like, you know, Cheticus just needs to keep doing the right thing from this point on, and he'll win. He's just keeping the aggression up, though. Look, I love the fact that he knows.
He really wants to down that Nexus.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful lock and surround. And now he's going to be pretty much free to take out the Nexus if he wants to. Oh, and look at that, catching him off the production cycle, killing off another lone Zealot. I'm going to be able to kill this and just run away. These Lings have totally played for themselves several times over. Oh, and the botched force field didn't allow him to get away. Oh, he needs to just run away. There's no point in being there.
Yeah, I'm glad that Wes finally got another Colossus up because he really lost all of his control over the battlefield when he lost all of his Colossi. Here come the Infestors now. No Neural Parasite, but that's all he needs is just to hold everything in place. I kind of want to see him come back and Fungal Growth one more time. Oh, never mind. He had enough to do it anyways. These Infestors.
Yeah, and I really like it. Oh, look at that. And even Infestitarians, which is actually not that gimmicky a move because Infestitarians, they're actually sort of like Marines. I mean, they do a lot of damage. They have really high DPS. I hope he actually moves them, even though they're just slow as molasses. But he's going to get into the base, and now Wes is sort of just in disarray, trying to salvage what he can of the situation. But if he doesn't die in this push, it's going to be the next push. I mean, honestly, there's nothing he can really do anymore.
He's just hanging on. I mean, we know it's game 3, so this isn't like the end of the world if either player wins or loses here. But this would be 2 for Cheticus, and it is a best of 5. But still, Wes knows he doesn't want to give up until it's over. And frankly, you know, I mean, with the Colossus just coming out here, I totally think he's justified in staying in this game because look at the damage he's being able to do to those Lings. They're just taking so many casualties. That one Colossus just spawning out got 10 kills. So, you know, he can hold on to the game, but I think Cheticus has the long-run game for sure.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any long-term prospects here. He doesn't have a hidden expo or anything. His base is about to get mined out. There's a Spire going down, and the Zerg has had the Gold Expo for a little while now. So he's in more than trouble. It's sort of just how long can he hold off the inevitable. But we'll see. I mean, maybe some miraculous move can put him back. He needs to get an expansion, though. Unless he can figure out a way to get an expansion and maybe go back on one base Colossus, I don't really see what he can do anymore. The Spire is going to be up, and once the Spire is up, those sentries are just not going to fit the bill.
Yep. I think we saw Cheticus. Was it Cheticus? I'm confusing all my Zerg players today, but we saw a similar, maybe it was Chompy, where basically he just kind of stalled and kept trading armies, and then just showed up with a bunch of mutas out of nowhere. And he's priming himself.
Oh, and forcing to cancel again. Ooh. So Wes, I think, is going to GG right here.
There is the Fungal Growth. God, I love Infestor use by Zergs. Infestor is one of my favorite units. Unfortunately, you can't use it alone, but it's just such a great support unit.
Such a good move, and forcing those Colossus to stay still. GG.